Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagahana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskatya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. So, welcome once again to all of you. Anyone would like to recollect from last week class? What did we discuss?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. First
Yes.
we saw about Krishna's appearance. Krishna appeared in a human form by his own will. He behaved like a human being, like he stole
Yes.
butter, he joked with gopis, he allowed
Yeah.
Yashodama to bind him, etc. Yet he
Yeah.
performed many superhuman acts which cannot be thought of by mortals like us. Like he killed Putana, he lifted Govardhan Giri, he subdued
Yes.
Kalia.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
So,
Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
if no one is responding, I'll just make a few more points if it is okay.
I'll just wait for a few minutes. Anyone else
fine.
would like to? Anyone would like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mataji.
You also told that the children are sent to the slaughterhouses of so-called education, and their liberation, which is the real purpose of the life, is not taught there. It is
Correct.
just a refined animal life.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a very nice point. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to share? And we talked about the four yugas. What are the process in the four yugas? Anyone remembers?
Yeah, Prabhuji. For self-realization, each yuga has its own way of realizing the self. In Satya Yuga, it is prolonged meditation.
Correct.
For about 100,000 years, one has to meditate.
Yeah.
In Treta Yuga, it is great sacrifices, yajnas, which is to be done for 10,000 years. In Dwapara Yuga, it is 1,000 years of worship.
Yes.
But in Kali Yuga, it is pretty simple. It is hearing and chanting Lord's names.
Yes.
And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has preached that, we should
Yes.
read Bhagavad Gita and then Bhagavatam.
Correct.
And
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the way to have self-realization in Kali Yuga.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice. So nice. You. So he has given this responsibility that every one of us should study Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, make our life perfect, and also teach others so that their life also will become perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, we also discussed about how this age of Kali is so dangerous. It makes us to forget about the real goal of life. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, Mataji mentioned about the slaughterhouse. Yeah. Krishna consciousness. So we should understand that what is the real purpose of life, right? So,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you also talked about the 6 questions the sages asked.
correct.
You mentioned that in the class. Yeah.
Yeah, that the chapter ends with that one actually. So we are
Yeah.
going to start with a new chapter. That is the next chapter, second chapter. The 6 questions we asked. We should know the answers for 6 questions. The sages asked Sisuta Goswami 6 questions. And these are the 6 questions we should be thorough. Without knowing this, our life cannot be successful. So, knowing that in Kali Yuga, people are very, not that they are not intelligent, people are spending a lot of time to learn material education. But the problem is that they don't answer for the 6 questions. So, that is why the sages of Naimisharanya, they are asking to Suta Goswami to give answers for these 6 questions so that our life will be perfect. So that's what we are going to say now. So, from this second chapter of this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are going to recite this fifth sloka here. Sutta Goswami is saying, Munayagha sadhu prishtogam bhavatmir loka mangalam yatkrita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. So see, he's saying, O sages have been justly questioned by you, and your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So Sutta Goswami, he is congratulating, he is telling the sages that you have asked the right questions. Because as long as we don't inquire about Lord Krishna and his activities, our life will not become perfect. So generally, people ask so many questions in this material world. What are the questions people ask generally in the world? Anyone like to say? People are curious to know. What are the general questions people discuss?
The goal to happiness, permanent happiness.
Permanent happiness, yes. What else they discuss? When two people are meeting or talking, what are the things they discuss normally in the material
The
world?
problems, money.
Yeah, related to money, how the stock market is going, right? People are very interested in stock market, investment, and what else?
Which college my son or daughter should go join, what
Yes.
course he or she should take.
Yeah, about the career. Yeah. Then what else?
About health issues.
Health issues. Yeah. And what is the weather? What is what's going on in the politics, right? And then
Entertainment questions.
entertainment, all things. But do they talk about Krishna? Do they talk about these 6 questions?
No, rarely they talk, or they don't.
Unfortunately, no, Prabhu.
That is the problem. So people will discuss everything in this world, but not about Krishna. Therefore, they are feeling unsatisfied. So here, The clue is given here. That's why the sages are saying, they are specifically asking the 6 questions related to Krishna, so that people will become satisfied. Not that I'm saying we should not talk about all those things, but the main subject matter we are forgetting. That is a problem. We are sidelining the main subject and taking all the other subject as a main subject. Therefore, our life is in a unsatisfied state. So the solution given in the Bhagavatam is, you talk about Krishna, then everything else will fall in place. That is main important thing. So it is not unnatural that to ask questions or talks about something. But the thing is that the right thing should be that we must ask questions about Krishna and then talk about Krishna, then everything will become perfect. So here it is said that your questions are sadhu prashtaha, it's noble and saintly questions. Yeah, we see how to earn more money, how to enjoy more, how to gain power and fame. So many questions focused on wealth, pleasure, and fame, but hardly there is any inquiry about Krishna. They don't understand what is real dharma, they don't seek the ultimate good for humanity. So this is the missing point. But here the sages are asking, your questions are sadhu prashtaha, proper, noble, and saintly persons. So why? Because it is related to Lord Krishna. And why? And Krishna, as we have seen, that he is the source of everything, the controller of the universe, the supreme object of love, the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, inquiring about Krishna is about spiritual and purifying. His activities, his teachings, his devotees, his relationship with the soul, all these things has to be properly understood. And that gives complete satisfaction. So that is the only thing which can liberate the soul. So this economic development, political improvement, technological process, all these things are there. But what is the use of all these things? As the more we are seeing, the technology is increasing, but the technology is not used for proper purpose. They are used for destructing the world, and that's what we are seeing now currently. Correct? All the software technology, all these are helping humanity to certain extents, but mainly it is used for destructing purpose. That is a sad story. The other sad story of this technology is that people who are don't know how to handle the technology, and they are misusing for destructing the world. Science and technology can be used for higher purpose, but because people are become godless, they are utilizing it for selfish purpose. One nation trying to exploit other nation. That's what is happening through technology. So in that way, we are forgetting about the real goal of life. That is the problem. We are forgetting about to ask questions about Krishna, to hear about him, remember about him, to do devotional service. So therefore, the Bhagavatam says real welfare means to have freedom from ignorance, release from repeated birth and death. We should end this material suffering. It is not possible by producing new and new technology. That is not possible. So if you want to really free from ignorance, get free from all this, then you have to take to the process of devotional service to Krishna. That is the ultimate thing. So unfortunately, we are in Kali Yuga. We have to learn all this technological science. Otherwise, it is not required. If you see our forefathers, they were not, studying all these things. So many technology. People are, so much in stress. The students are put up in so much stress now. Even if you score 99.99%, still it is very difficult to get a medical seat or engineering seat in good colleges. And the students are so much stressed, they are taking into all kinds of illicit activities. So, whereas spiritual knowledge is not like that. The more you understand, the more you get realized, it will give you more nectar. The more you will get energized by spiritual knowledge. That's the difference between material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So therefore, reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita will not put you under stress. Rather, it will liberate you. But the more you become materialistic knowledge, you get materialistic knowledge, the more you have to put efforts and stress yourself. And that's why people are even the so-called educated people, they don't have good characters. So many problems are there. So this is the difference between the material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So we should be serious to know get the spiritual knowledge. So therefore it is said that only such questions can completely satisfy the self. The Atma can be satisfied only when you ask questions related to Krishna. Hey Atma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshade ahaituki apriyata yayatma suprasidati. The next sloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sudra Goswami is saying that only if you ask questions related to Lord Krishna, you will feel completely satisfied. So therefore, this process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam should continue forever. Because Bhagavatam is for us, our whole life is there. We can keep on reading. So many chapters are there. So many stories are there. So many subject matters about Krishna. So, so therefore, this knowledge benefits everyone. So intelligence should be used to inquire about the absolute truth, not merely about temporarily worldly matters. The scientists also, they are putting lot of efforts researching, doing research for years and years. They are spending hours together to do research. But the problem is that they don't study such things to find out who has created all this science. Who's the person behind all this science? That they don't do. They only study the matter, but they don't study the spirit behind this matter, who is controlling everything. That's the problem. So, therefore, it is said that we should hear and learn the Srimad Bhagavatam for true satisfaction. And that is the solution for all social and political and religious problems. Because in the Bhagavatam, all the questions are answered, all the solutions are there for all the problems, and ultimately you will achieve complete happiness by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the sixth sloka, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshate. Adokshate means the Supreme Lord. Ahaituki apriyata yatma suprasidati. So, such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, what does it mean by unmotivated and uninterrupted? Unmotivated means without any desire for personal desire, just to please Krishna. That is called pure devotional service. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, anyone remembers 4 kinds of people who come to Krishna? Who are the 4 people who come to Krishna? He says in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Muddha, an atheist, I forgot the name.
No, that you are saying 4 kinds of people who don't come to Krishna. I am asking 4 kinds of people who come to Krishna.
Okay.
So Krishna, he is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Artho Artharthi Jignasu means that one who is
suffering and who wants
correct.
wealth, and then who is seeking knowledge.
Yeah.
And then
one want to know the absolute.
Inquisitive, no, the absolute.
Correct. So these 4 types of people come to Krishna, but eventually they will become pure devotees by rendering devotional service to Krishna. It means unmotivated. They don't want anything except to serve Krishna. That's called pure devotional service. So uninterrupted, not that one day we do chanting, another day we forget about Krishna. No. Every day we must chant the holy name of Krishna. Once you develop love for Krishna, you cannot stay without remembering Krishna. Your mind will be always thinking of Krishna some or other. That is the stage we want to come. Just like in the movies, they are showing the hero and the heroine. All the time they are thinking about each other. But a devotee, because he is in so much love with Krishna, he cannot forget Krishna at any time. That is the stage we want to come. Uninterrupted stage. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, there are two paths in life to choose your destiny. One is path of sense enjoyment, that's called Pravriti Mark. And then the path of renunciation, that's called Nivriti Mark. So Pravriti Mark means people are very much interested in improving their materialistic life, and they are simply interested how to enjoy material pleasure. That is the path. People are interested in making money or career. All these things are all Pravriti Mark, and they don't have any knowledge about path of renunciation or the spiritual knowledge, superior path of spiritual. That science they don't know. Only they know the science of materialistic world. So that is lead to bondage. That will not give to liberation. But the path of Nivriti Mark, that is path of devotion to Krishna, it will lead to liberation. So we have to choose which path we have to progress. Right? So two path is there, Pravati Mark or Nivriti Mark. Because people don't have any idea about what is Nivriti Mark, what is pure devotion to Krishna, because they think that what will I gain if I just become a devotee? They don't understand. But the path of Pravritti Mark is you may be a very, very great scientist, you may be a very so much of power, fame, and you have in this material world. But since you don't have any spiritual knowledge, all that knowledge, whatever you gain, it is simply a bondage. You are going to get again birth in this material world according to your karma. That's all. So simultaneously, so what is the solution? That means we should completely reject? No. Whatever profession we are there, we can continue to do. There's nothing harm. But at the same time, we must also understand about spiritual knowledge. Without attachment, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, what is saying famous sloka, Karmanyevadikare ma phaleshu kadachit. So ma phaleshu means what? Without expecting the fruits of your labor. You just do your duty. Whatever skills you have, you do it. But don't be attached to these fruits. But attached to where? Attached to Krishna. That is what's important. Just like Prabhupada, I'm saying, Krishna gives an example, just like the lotus leaf. You have seen the lotus leaf in the water? The water is there on the lotus leaf. How is it? It is not wetting the leaf. It is just, above that leaf. Same way, we are in the material world. We cannot avoid doing nothing. We have to do our duty as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, whatever occupation duty we are doing, we have to do it. But at the same time, we must practice spiritual knowledge. We must practice spiritual life. In that way, we will not be bound by this material world. Otherwise, we will be bound. Without doing bhakti to Krishna, all our activities will bind us in this material world. That we need to remember. So material existence means it's temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. There's no real happiness is there. But spiritual means it takes us to the Brahma Bhuta stage, means fully spiritually realized that we understand Krishna is this. We are all part and parcel of Krishna, and by serving Krishna, we come to the Brahma Bhuta stage. We don't get affected. That is the eternal stage, blissful stage when we understand our relationship with Krishna and act in that relationship. So this is very important to understand, because spiritual material life is like that. Everything looks very nice in the beginning, but it will give you pain at the end. That's what it's all false happiness in the material world. So we need to understand this. So therefore, we have to bring Krishna in our center of our life. So why? Because each living entity, all of us have got a definite relationship with Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. And we have our original spiritual form, but we are now in this material body, engaged in this material body. Therefore, we are not able to enjoy the real freedom, real blissful nature. We have discussed this earlier. Just like the moon is there, but if it is covered by the sky, then sometimes you will not feel the full brightness of the moon. Same way, we are all by nature spiritual. But what is happening is that because we are covered by this material ignorance, we are not able to experience our real spiritual identity. Therefore, we are not feeling the complete spiritual happiness. So we have to revive back our original state. That can be done only when you connect back to Krishna. So that is through devotional service. So when we render devotional service to Krishna, when we chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita again and again, then we understand. It is like you have forgotten something, and then when you revise it, you will understand. You experience, right? All of you have written a lot of exams. So when you revise it, then you get back your memory, isn't it? Same way, when you are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, when you are reading Bhagavad Gita, when you are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then you revive your original state of consciousness. That is spiritual consciousness. Unless you revise, you will forget. Exams. And during exam time, you will revise your old chapters, right? Why? Because you get your memory back. Same way, Krishna consciousness is also Bhakti to Krishna is also, it is there already. Every living entity has got, but it is in a covered state. So therefore, we have to remove that covering by chanting the holy name. Then you come back to your original state. So we are not trying to impose something artificial thing in our consciousness. It is already there. Every living entity, Krishna is saying, is my part and parcel. So everyone is actually a devotee of the Lord, but simply we have got forgotten our relationship. So through devotional service, one realizes the transcendental love. So everyone has got that love for Krishna. So therefore, devotional service is the process by which we revive our original consciousness, that is Krishna consciousness. Our relationship with Krishna, that we will revive it. So therefore, it is Srimad Bhagavatam says we have to connect back to Krishna. The example is given that Krishna is the center of the hub, right? He is a central pivot. He is the center of all the existence. So he is and everything else around revolves around him. So when we forget Krishna is in the center, then everything becomes disorganized. Just like we see there the analogy wheel and the hub. So just imagine a wheel. The center is Krishna, hub is Krishna. All the spokes are the living beings. Well, the rim is the world. So if the spokes are connected to the hub, the wheel works perfectly. But the spokes are disconnected from the hub, what will happen? The wheel collapses. So therefore, when the living beings connect with Krishna, then life becomes very peaceful and harmonious. But when we forget him, there will be always some confusion and suffering. So that is why people don't know why they are suffering. They think that material solution can solve the problems, but it will never solve unless you get your spiritual knowledge. So why? So therefore, Krishna, to get attracted to Krishna is a natural thing because he is all attractive. The word meaning itself, Krishna means what? All attractive. Because God, the definition of God, what? He must be all attractive. Otherwise, how he can be God? Generally, we see in this material world that if one has some beauty, knowledge, strength, wealth, fame, renunciation, then they people become very famous. And Krishna, he is the possessor of all these six opulences in full. Therefore, Parasara Muni, he is saying that only Krishna can call himself God because he got all these opulences in full. Being part and parcel of Krishna, we also have all these six opulences, but in very minute quantity. But Krishna has got everything in full. So therefore, he is the all attractive personality. So just like you see, automatically the iron particles are attracted to the magnet, right? So Krishna is like a powerful magnet, and we, the souls, are like the iron particles. So if you just automatically, when we come to closer to Krishna, we get attracted to Krishna. Just if you remove, just like if, but the problem is that it is we are rusted. The rust has to be removed, and then they automatically the iron particle will get attracted to Krishna. So the rust is all these anarthas, unwanted things. The lust, anger, greed, all these are all rust, which can be removed by chanting the holy name. Hmm? So the more you chant the holy name, what will happen? The more you get attracted to Krishna. That is the result. Therefore, the solution is that we simply by coming in contact with Krishna, we become purified. Krishna himself says in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Everyone is a part and parcel of me. So therefore, Krishna is the complete whole. Another example we can give, that's like Krishna is the sun, and all the jivas are the sun rays, the particles in the sun rays. So Krishna is full infinite source, and we jivas have tiny sparks of consciousness. So we are always in connected with Krishna, whether we know it or unknow it, either we don't know it, but we are always connected with Krishna. So therefore, he is the eternal attraction for all living beings. so so whatever beauty you see in this material world, whatever attraction you have in this material world, we need to understand who is the source behind this. Prabhupada, when he was traveling along with his secretary, one time they were in the airport. So that time what happened? So his secretary, the one steward, flight steward, she was looking pretty and she was going on this Prabhupada disciple, one of the Prabhupada disciple was looking at her, and Prabhupada noticed it. And he became very embarrassed that Prabhupada has noticed that he's looking at that steward. And Prabhupada said, yeah, she looks very beautiful, right? And then Prabhupada said, if you can see that this ordinary jiva, if they are looking pretty, then how much Krishna will be so much beautiful, attractive, original source of everything, right? So Prabhupada tried to teach his disciple that we should always look at the source of beauty everything, the source of everything. That then will come back to Krishna. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam says. So we should not be simply getting attracted to this material world. We should also know the source of behind all this material world. Then we understand. So in the seventh sloka, it's a very nice sloka. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayasyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Het Ahetukam. So what happens by rendering devotional service? Two things will happen. One is detachment. Janayadi asu vairagyam jnanam cha het ahetukam. One acquires costless knowledge and detachment from this material world. So this is the result of doing devotional service to Krishna. So how do you know that you are progressing devotional service? By the result. What is the result? Are you gaining knowledge? Are you gaining knowledge about Krishna? And that knowledge should detach from all the temporary thing of this material world. Your attraction to the temporary things of this material world, that is vairagya. Vairagya should be there. And then the knowledge about the costless knowledge about the Supreme Lord. These two things will happen for a devotee, one who is progressing in the path of devotional service. So when a person sincerely renders devotional service to Krishna, true spiritual knowledge, jnana and vairagya, detachment from material enjoyment, these two symptoms will be there. And you don't have to, and the word as aso is there. Jnanam cha yet ahetukam. Bhakti yoga prayojita janayasyati aso means what? Immediately happen automatically. It will come. So therefore the Bhagavatam is teaching that when the heart becomes connected to Krishna through bhakti, then real knowledge and detachment arise naturally. You don't have to practice it separately. Oh, I have to leave this, I have to leave that. No. Automatically it will appear. When you get this knowledge, when you read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, you will get automatically detached from illusory things of this material world. Just like the example is given, when you water the root of the tree, the whole tree is nourished, right? When you eat, when you are hungry, when you take the food, then the food goes into the mouth and it goes to your intestine and the digestion happens. Immediately you feel rejuvenated, right? You get the strength. Same way, the more you hear about Krishna, the more you do devotional service to Krishna, chant the holy name, then these two effects must be there. Real knowledge and detachment. It's like the example is given when the child is there, right? Then the child is attached to the toys, right? But the same child, when he grows older, he naturally lose interest in those toys. How does that happen? Because his attraction is transformed into another subject, another thing, which is higher thing. Same way, when you are develop an higher spiritual taste in Krishna consciousness, then you will lose automatically the lower material pleasures. That's called vairagya, detachment. So this we need to understand. So there is a very interesting story in this connection. What happened? There was one there is one business person was there, and he had his sons. So he became old, and so the business that the sons were thinking that my father has worked so much hard, but he has not gained anything spiritual. He is not able to detach himself. So let him go to the some Tirtha Yatra. So he found a person. He found a sage who can take to the Tirtha Yatra, and by his association, maybe his father will change. So then he sent his father along with that saintly person, and he went to various places. And the saintly person also tried to give him spiritual knowledge in various ways, but he was not showing any interest at all. At last, they came to Varanasi. So in Varanasi, there is a place called where and there was a crematorium also is there. So he took that father, the elder father, the saint took this father to that crematorium, and so that he will develop some detachment, seeing all the bodies are being burnt there. So he will develop a detachment. That was he was thinking. So he took him there, and then as soon as his father went there, he started crying. So saintly person thought, at last his heart has been changed. Now he has understood what is the real life. Then the saintly person asked his father that, why you are crying? Then he said that actually throughout my life, I was doing the business of selling clothes. And in the clothes, how the clothes are, there's a round block of wood will be there, circle, and then they will tie all this silk saris, everything. So all these things, I was selling the saris, and then I was throwing all this wood. At that time, I didn't realize that these wood are so valuable. I threw it, but now I see all this wood are used to burn the bodies, right? So I lost so much of money. That's why I'm crying. So this is the nature of people who are too much attached to materialistic things, right? They're always thinking about how to improve their materialistic life. He did not think that the bodies are burning, my body also will be burnt one day, and what is the purpose of life? That he did not realize. But he was thinking that he lost so much of money by throwing away the wood unnecessarily. Had he known that, he could have used that wood for sell the wood for burning the bodies. So that was his idea. So there are so many people who may be doing some kind of spiritual activities for years, but there is no change in them. They are simply doing the same thing. That's all, right? People are doing ritualistically so many things. There is no vairagya, detachment is there in their materialistic life, because the path of what they are doing is not real devotional service. It is simply ritualistic activities without any having proper knowledge. That is the situation of the most of the Hindus, that they are doing something but without having any proper knowledge. Therefore, they don't gain any detachment or they don't get any proper knowledge. Jnanam and Vairagya does not come because the process is devotional service looks very simple, but actually, when you follow the real principles of bhakti, then it is not so simple. You have to be serious about it. Unless you are serious to follow the principles of bhakti, then it's very difficult. So therefore it is said bhakti is easy for people who are very simple and accept it. But to people who are very complicated, for them bhakti is very difficult. If you follow the steps, proper steps, given by the proper bona fide teacher, then bhakti process becomes very easy. Anyone can do it. It looks simple. But one must be serious to execute that one. That we need to understand. Otherwise, just going to temple or doing some archana, breaking some coconut does not develop you knowledge or vairagya. It doesn't happen. It will take very long time. But we don't have that much time in this life. If you are serious in this life to perfect your spiritual life, then we have to follow the principles of bhakti properly, as taught in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is very important. So bhakti, therefore, it is said it is sublime, but it is very deep and exalted. It may look very simple, chanting Hare Krishna, you know, hearing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. It is all simple only. But unless you do it in a proper way, under the proper guidance, then only you'll get that desired result. So bhakti it's an ocean, and it is the real spiritual realization and love is there. The deeper, the more deep you go, the more you discover the depth of bhakti, pure devotional. What is real pure devotional service means. So the ocean, when it from the shore, it looks very simple, right? But the more you go inside the ocean, what happens? The depth increases. So chanting, hearing, and worshipping, what is there? People may think, what is this? People are simply chanting and dancing, eating prasadam. It may look very simple, but they don't understand. By doing this activity, one enters into the deep depth of pure devotional service, ocean of spirituality. The more you get into this, the more you get spiritual realization and love. So that is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti Yoga. So that's why we see the examples of Prahlad Maharaj, how they are so much in intense love for the Lord, constant Narada Muni. So they are all following the path of Bhakti only, but the process is they do it in a serious way, right? Like it is Prahlad Maharaj who was started in Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Marchanam Vandanam Dasyam Shakyam Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 processes of devotional service. First is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So these 3 things at least one must regularly do about Krishna. Then you progress in the process of bhakti. So by constantly practicing, then you get in the higher spiritual ecstasy. So that is the beauty of the process of devotional service. So it is easy for the beginners and it is also for the advanced devotees also. Like here chanting, hearing about Krishna, offering bhoga to the Lord and taking prasadam, just remembering. So it may look very simple, but actually, because the process is very nice, it is bona fide. Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita to do the same thing only, right? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. So Krishna is saying so many words in sloka in Bhagavad Gita, glorifying the path of bhakti. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is karma is there, jnana yoga is there, ashtanga yoga is there. But of all these things, bhakti is the highest process. Krishna himself is saying in so many slokas. And it is practical for all of us. So, therefore, bhakti, beginning of bhakti is very simple. Just like when you want to climb a mountain, the first step, you may think that how I can climb the mountain. It's very difficult. But you can always take first few steps. That is easy only, right? So as you take progress in the path of bhakti, then you automatically get the strength to keep the next step. And that way you will climb the whole mountain. So anyone can chant the holy name. This is very simple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So as you are advancing in bhakti, we are not going to chant anything, something else. We will be chanting the same Hare Krishna mantra only. But the difference is that your realization is different when you say as you grow in the path of devotional service. So another example is given that when you approach the fire, a child feels the warmth. The scientist studies its nature, energy, and power, right? But it works for both of the people approaching bhakti. So the beginners, they feel the satisfaction, peacefulness, everything. But the advanced devotees, they realize the spiritual ecstasy and love for Krishna. So it works both of us. So another example is just like bhakti gives spiritual happiness. For the children, it is like a lollipop. They feel the sweetness. For an adult, like there is a flavor also they experience. And just like a scientist, he understand, he analyze it, and then he find the real sweetness. Same way, the beginners, the advanced stage, the perfected souls, everyone gets satisfied by the process of bhakti. The differences in the depth of realization increases as you advance. So why bhakti is unique? Because other spiritual processes are very difficult. Jnana yoga there. When you will study all these things and what is the conclusion after studying all these things? And the Ashtanga Yoga means you have to go to the forest. Krishna says in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you have to follow Ashtanga Yoga, what you have to do? First, Chennai or anywhere else, you have to go to a forest and put a deer skin there and sit and close your eyes, half closed, and start meditating. Who is going to do all these things? So those are all not possible, practical in this age. But bhakti is practical. It can be practiced anywhere, any time. So therefore, everyone can practice devotional service right sitting at home. So we are in Bahrain now. I'm in Bahrain now. So here I am. We have a temple. We are also practicing devotional service. Anywhere, anybody can practice bhakti. So we should not underestimate the power of devotional service. Some people think that, what is the big thing of chanting Hare Krishna mantra? What is simply reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam? What is the use of all these things? So it is not like that. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he gives a very nice story in this connection, right? There was one elderly mother was there, and he had a son. So she could not able to teach her son advanced mathematics. So he had a teacher, and the teacher was teaching his son advanced mathematics. Like, he was teaching geometry. That he is saying, let ABC be the triangle. He was teaching like that. And this mother, she overheard what the teacher was saying, and she became very confused. And she said, "What you are teaching to my son? He is studying now in 10th standard, and he is supposed to know higher things, and you are teaching only ABC. So you are not a good teacher." So she think that bhakti is for only for the people who can't do other process. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 52, when your intelligence has passed out of dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that what you heard and all that is to be heard. So we think that path of bhakti, many people deride. Those people are called so-called, they come as yogi, huh? And they wanted to teach meditation. These people don't know what is real bhakti. They think that people are, people who are doing bhakti are sentimentalist. It is not so. Yes, bhakti is the currently, if you see the general population of people, what they are practicing bhakti is not real bhakti. But that doesn't mean that bhakti is not a correct process, but rather it is the highest process. And we have seen so many stories in this connection. There is the story of Ramayana. We see that, Sabari, she was with her pure devotion, she was actually offering to Lord Rama. What she was offering? She was offering berries, which she has already tasted it. And Lakshman was saying to Lord Ram that don't eat these berries because it is already tasted by Sabari. But Lord Rama said, no, because she has got so much devotion, she want to uh, make sure that the berries are sweet. And that's why she has tasted and she is offering to me. I will accept it. So Krishna can be satisfied only by the process of pure devotion. This is the most important, simple, sublime thing that we need to understand, that how bhakti transcends everything. Sometimes people think if I read all the complex Vedic mantras, Vedanta Sutra, Vedas, all these things, that is the purpose of life. No, that is not you can study all these things, but ultimately what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati. Unless you have pure devotion to me, then we cannot obtain him. We cannot get him. So to develop bhakti, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who has started this process of chanting the holy name. That is the Yuga Dharma. In Kali Yuga, no other process works except chanting the holy name. That's why it is said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other process except chanting the holy name. So therefore, we are recommending everyone to, that's why this Hare Krishna mantra is very, how we can see transform the people. Anyone who chants sincerely, their heart will get transformed. They develop two things. What is the two things we discussed today? What you get by following bhakti?
Detachment and real knowledge.
Yeah, jnana vairagya, both detachment and real knowledge. These two things must happen if anyone follows a proper bhakti process. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Thank you for your attention. If any comments, questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Please chant every day.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Study Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita daily, okay? This you can do at home. In this way, you will progress in your devotional service. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.